Hey, it's great to be with you again today. Have you ever been in prayer and God answers a prayer and it's been so incredible that you just can't believe it? Right? It's astounding. It's what you were praying for. It's in the present moment. It was the most astounding thing ever. I'm going to tell you. I'll share this answered prayer. Right? My son, the youngest of our three children, I'm in with my wife during the birth, and it's great, right? We're all excited, and she's in pain, and I'm like, hey, come on, honey, you can do it. And she's like, you're an idiot. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's so awesome. And we're so excited, right? We're all jacked up, and we don't know what it. I don't know what it is. She can't wait, right? She can't be surprised. But I wanted to be surprised, and all of a sudden the doctor goes, it's a boy, right? And the birth is happening, and I'm crying, and she's crying, and it's awesome. And the baby comes out, and they work up, and he's not crying. And I look at the doctor, and he's got this look in his eyes, right? And the nurses come, and they take him away, and he's like white. Like white. And Lisa's going, what? Oh, how is he? And they swoop him and take him over to a side table. And they start working on him. And I'm like oh, he's fine. They're just taking him over. And in my heart is pounding. And I start praying immediately, God, please don't take my son. And they're working. It seemed like an hour, right? And I'm sure it was only a couple minutes. And all of a sudden, I heard the baby cry. And talk about being grateful. Talk about lifting a prayer of praise. And I'm crying, and Lisa's crying. Now we're really crying because now it's, right? It was life or death. And when he was being born, the umbilical cord had gotten wrapped around his throat, and things went south for some reason. In the New Testament, Peter was locked up. He was in prison. King Herod was going to kill him. And all the disciples were in the upper room, and they're praying for him, right? And an angel comes in that night, walks past the guards, opens the door, unshackles Peter. They walk back past the guards again, go back to the upper room, and Peter knocks on the door. And one of the girls comes to the door, and Peter goes, hey, it's me. Hey, let me in. And she can't believe it, right? Because they've been praying for him to be released. And she goes and she doesn't even open the door. She goes and tells the disciples, hey, I think Peter's at the door. And they're like, you're crazy. And they finally come and open the door, and there's Peter, right? Answer to prayer, an incredible answer to prayer. Are we believing that God can still do miracles, that God can still answer our deepest, most profound prayers? I dare you to keep praying to the God who still does miracles, who still hears our prayers, even in the midst of chaos, even in the midst of the way the world is today. God still hears us, and God still answers our prayers. May God continue to pour out his grace, mercy, and blessings on each and every one of us until we get to meet again. Amen. Amen.